It's noon here in Ventnor City, New Jersey, and our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. And this is CarEdge Live for Monday, October 21st, with your host, me, Ray, and, well, the good-looking kid, Zach. And I got to say, I got my, 10 a.m. Saturday morning, I got my COVID and flu shots. And, well, I feel like our headline today, I feel like crap, but I'm here at least for the next 30 minutes, and then maybe it could be nap time.
Nap time is coming soon for Pops. Deals and discounts back at today's sponsor, CarEdge.com, the company my dad and I started 5 years ago. We got $250 off on new vehicle service contracts, colloquially referred to as an extended warranty. 13 days left on that promotion, as well as, folks, CarEdge Insights, 20% off between now and the end of the month. And Dad, I got to mention it.
Yes.
We launched our new insurance platform. So if you need help trying to save some money on auto insurance, go to CarEdge.com, hover over insurance, and click on this one right here. We can help you out trying to lower those insurance prices. CarEdge.com. Thanks to everyone who supports us. Dad, we got picked up.
Before you get started, do we have any access to HVAC people? You know, my heater went in my condo, and my heater guy hasn't showed up. He's supposed to be here today. Thankfully, it's supposed to be 77 today, but later in the week, we're only supposed to get up to the mid-50s. I need a heater guy.
Angie's List, Pops. All right, we are starting with this, Dad, from Car Dealership Guy. 5 of the most oversupplied SUVs and their current deals. Today's title: Automakers made crap cars and now they can't sell. Let's see if this is clickbait. Number 5 on the list is the Nissan Pathfinder with 0% APR for 36 months plus a $1,500 cash discount. Number 4 is the Kia Sorento with 0% APR for 48 months or a lease for as little as $269 per month when you put 4 Gs down. Dodge Durango up to $6,000 in cash discounts. Really big subvented lease signing as well. Ford Escape 1.9% APR for 60 months. And up to $4,000 in trade assistance, and a Jeep Grand Wagoneer, 0%, no interest car loan for 36 months, or 3.9% APR for 72 months. Oh, would you look at that? We are the data source. Dad, crap cars, can't sell them. Shocker.
Yeah, but I love the fact that you take like $100,000 Grand Wagoneers and say, not a problem. We're going to give you 0 interest for 3 years. I don't know. Divide 100,000 by 36. How much is that a month? I mean,
okay, we'll do it. One second.
And if you're foolish enough to even do it, okay, you should have your head examined. It's a Jeep Grand Wagoneer that nobody wants.
But these cars, Dad, these are the vehicles. We'll do the Grand Wagoneer here. These are the vehicles that have the biggest discounts. And they are, I mean, crap might be too hard. But I was going to pull up. I had it queued up for today. We're going to review the latest NHTSA recall standings. That's the right way to describe it. The power rankings for automaker recalls. Because you can see here, FCA, Stellantis, has actually taken the lead, folks.
Oh my!
Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Chrysler, they've taken the lead. They're beating Ford now in terms of recalls, so we'll spend some time there. But before we do, all right, so you're saying take one of these, 2024. How about this one that's been sitting for 170 days? $111,000.
It's sat for 10 minutes. So let's say you can buy it for $100,000. I mean, just say you can buy it.
Let's start here. 0 down.
Yeah.
36 months, 0%.
Yeah. And your payment is
$3,300 a month.
I don't know. You could rent a nice studio apartment in New York City for that kind of money. Although I will say this, that Jeep Grand Wagoneer may have more room than that studio apartment. I mean, just saying.
That was a good one. Yeah. So, Dad, why are these vehicles struggling to sell? Is it because they're crap? I mean, we've talked about it on this show before. The new vehicles made during the vehicle shortage, when we've got the production outages, things like that, there have been an increase in recalls relative to years past. Is it that they're not good vehicles, or is it because they're priced so much? And for example, Dad, we've been documenting for a while here all the challenges over at Kia, for instance. There's a Kia on this list. There's a Nissan on this list. Like, there are vehicles here that, if you look at their history, their brand's history, like, they are not great quality.
Well, I don't know. I think my headline says it all, which is you make crap, but can you sell crap? And apparently, if you're not in the agricultural business, it's harder to sell crap. Okay, you need the manure to grow stuff, but you don't need the manure as your driver. Okay, you just don't. And so I think the answer to your question,
Yeah.
uh, can they sell it? No, I don't think they can. Or the answer to I don't think they can. Hell, I'm pretty sure some of this stuff you couldn't even give it away. I mean, you literally could not give it away. And part of the problem is, in my mind, a lot of these manufacturers have decided to underwrite their losing efforts on the EV side of their business by producing more expensive ICE vehicles that have higher profit margins. So I don't know, they can afford to lose the billions they're losing on EVs. And at a certain point, they all the ICE vehicles all become so unaffordable that even if it's not crap, it's tough to sell because it's all priced too damn high. To get back to a topic that we discussed later, car prices are too damn high, and it's what manufacturers and the factories have chosen.
I want to look at, Dad, each of these vehicles on this list, their CarEdge value ranking and cost. I think that also plays a role in this.
Okay.
Kia Sorento, 2024 Kia Sorento. Drum roll, please. C+ value rating. Ranks 125th of all vehicles in terms of value.
That's probably pretty good for that.
No, I think that says there's 124 better options, right?
Yeah, but it's still pretty good for a Kia.
5-year cost of ownership, $50,000. All right, let's look at the next one. Dodge Durango. Look at the MSRP spread on Durangos. Just sit with that for a second.
From 40 grand, from 40 grand to 96 grand.
Holy cow.
I mean, because who isn't saying, at the entry level, 40 grand Durango, who isn't saying, damn, I really wish I could afford that $100,000 one? Nobody's actually saying that, but that's besides the point.
The Durango surprisingly gets a B rating.
Yeah,
probably in part because some of the higher performance vehicles are retaining their value better. 97th overall, $63,000 there in 5-year cost of ownership. Let's look at the Ford, Dad. The Ford Escape, much smaller. Look at that. This is a more reasonable MSRP spread than the Durango. B-, 121st overall, $43,000 5-year cost to own.
Yeah.
And then we've got here the Nissan, the Pathfinder, again, a more reasonable MSRP spread. A C-, ranks 155th, 57. So none of these vehicles, Dad.
Yes.
If we were to go to the overall ranks, we'd see a bunch of Toyotas, for example. Those Toyotas are not the ones showing up on Twitter lists like this, right?
Well, because for the most part, Toyota isn't building crap.
Exactly.
If you went to CarEdge and under that scenario, and you looked up, for instance, the Subaru Impreza, you'd be absolutely shocked as to how high that ranks.
Second.
Yes, second. I don't know what's first, but I'm probably not looking at it. But my point is, there and what's the price range of this vehicle?
Look at that, man. A $5,000 MSRP spread.
Yeah.
For the 2024 model year.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that every one of those Impreza owners is wondering why there isn't $100,000 option. Much like the Durango. Where's that Hellcat Impreza?
Exactly.
But when you and we often talk about affordable cars and affordability. And I see the comment, well, how come you never talk about Subaru? Okay, we're going to talk about Subaru right now. There's an affordable car that ranks very, very highly. There's only one vehicle out there that ranks higher. Okay, so you're talking about a good quality automobile under $30,000 that is relatively inexpensive to own, inexpensive to insure, inexpensive to maintain. I don't know.
It's not showing up on a list like this. Let's go to the
No.
NHTSA. Let's go to the NHTSA recalls. We've got an updated power ranking here,
Yes,
folks.
yes.
54 recalls so far this year for Chrysler FCA. So that's Stellantis. 51 recalls so far this year for Ford Motor Company, Forest River Commercial Vehicles, RVs. Not going to worry about that. BMW with 29 recalls, GM with 26 recalls, Mercedes-Benz with 21, Hyundai with 20. That includes Kia. So we've got 20 here for Daimler. No, that does not include Kia. There you go. Kia's broken out separately with 17.
Wow.
So between Hyundai, Kia, we've got 48. Jaguar, Land Rover, Jayco, and Nissan. So, Dad, it is. I mean,
You're
shots
talking
just keep
about
going.
between Stellantis,
Yep.
Ford, and who was the other one? Forest River or whatever.
Yeah.
Is that the big three power conferences for recalls?
That's the big three.
Which two are playing in the national championship game in January?
Looks like it's going to be Ford and Stellantis, man. They are running away with it here.
Now, how many vehicles has the Ford recalls impacted?
Let's see here. Drum roll, please. We've got millions. Let me break back out. Let's see if they'll give us the total number. No, they just break it down by every single recall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but Ford's got the biggest one outside of a Tesla over-the-air update one. For what was this one? This was the 2011 to 2019 Explorers. The A-pillar trim retention clips may not properly be engaged, allowing the trim to detach. That, in fact, impacted almost 2 million vehicles.
Okay, but that's nothing except if you're traveling at 75, 80 miles an hour and it comes off and it hits the windshield of the car behind you.
Not a big deal.
Yeah.
Let's do last year, Dad. Let's do this really quick.
Okay.
All right, let me get my little calendar going here. So we're going back to 20. We're going back to January. And then we want to go through December. All right, let's update this. Ford had 58 recalls last year. Stellantis had 45. Forest River, yada, yada, yada. So actually, both of these companies, Ford and Stellantis, are on record-setting pace this year for NHTSA recalls.
Well, I let's face it, everybody's got to be good at something. Okay. And apparently neither Stellantis or Ford figure they have to be good at quality.
Yeah.
And they're proving it. Because if I'm not mistaken, this is the third or fourth year that Ford is in the top two.
Oh, yeah. They usually win
in a row. Yeah, they usually win. They usually win hands down. But for whatever reason, Stellantis is giving them a real run for their money. But I am sure Ford is talking at the executive level to say, we've got.
How do we win here, fellas?
We've got a little over 2 months to reclaim our title. What do we have to do in order to make that happen? So don't be surprised if by the end of the year, even if they only pull it out by a whisker, that Ford actually pulls out another victory in an area where, you don't want to be victorious.
Pops, we're going to move to another story. Before we do, if anyone in our community has bought a car in the last year, we want to hear from you. Go to caredge.com/survey. We're doing a research project. We're going to publish a report next week. It's all anonymous. It's about car dealership transparency and buyer satisfaction. Go to caredge.com/survey and share with us. Again, if you bought a vehicle in the past year, share with us your buying experience. And this is going to go into an anonymous report, hopefully in the next 2 weeks, about car dealership transparency and buyer satisfaction. Now, Dad, I wonder.
Yes.
We've got earnings this week. We've got GM earnings tomorrow, and we've got more domestic automaker earnings coming out in the days following. There's a big expectation that these automakers are going to have bad earnings. And I mean, partly we have actually no GM products on that prior list that we were demonstrating and showing. But there's a big concern amongst the finance community that Ford, GM, and we've obviously saw Stellantis, they had a 20% decline in profits. Nissan earlier this year had a 99% decline in profits year over year. So as we're having this conversation about oversupplied crap vehicles, it's kind of the domestic automakers that are being, the ones honed in on and focused on. that article is really talking about the expectation that there's going to be even more EV losses and that the earnings are going to be poor.
Well, we know Ford has stated publicly any number of times, and as recently as last week, that they expect the EV division of their business to lose somewhere between $5 and $5.5 billion this year, which
I wish
is
they
on.
would just give us $1 billion, man. Like just earmark $1 billion for CarEdge.
That would be fine. That
We don't need two, just one.
I don't even like boats, but that would float my boat. But my point was going to be that's on top of the like $5 to $5.5 billion they lost last year on the EV division. Now, what allows them to be able to lose that type of money on the EV division? Selling to their dealers and hoping that their dealers can then in turn sell it to their retail customers, the high-priced Ford Series pickup trucks and SUVs, which is why you see so many of their offerings be at the higher end of the market as opposed to the lower end. So we have seen average transaction prices tick up again for new vehicles.
Yeah, that was bad news. Yeah.
Yes, because average MSRPs have ticked up again. Now, even though the transaction prices have ticked up slightly, the incentives that are offered on most vehicles have more than compensated for that slight increase in price, so that it's probably a net neutral situation. Even though the price is higher, the incentive's higher, so people are still basically paying the same amount that they were. But this just continues to exacerbate the affordability issue that most Americans have, which at a certain point, when most Americans stop buying new vehicles, then it means that Ford has nothing left to underwrite the losses on their EV division. And that, to me, is what the real issue is going to be. How are they going to underwrite all this if they can't sell their other stuff?
Let's put it to the test, baby. CarEdge.com car search. Let's get a pulse on the current Ford market conditions. Ford, new vehicles. Let's look at those high content F-150s. 118,000 new 2023, 2024, and 2025 Ford F-150s on dealer lots right now. And let's look at the high content ones like this one, Dad. A 2024, oh my gosh, or this one, the Raptor. We won't look, oh my gosh, or this one, the Platinum. They just keep going up in price. Yeah. Holy cow. 87 days on the market. Let's take a peek here, Dad. Only a 70-day supply. Where are we located right now? Let's see. This dealership, we're in Sayville, New York.
Okay. I have
let's
no
go somewhere
idea
else.
Where that is. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go somewhere else. Where do you want to go?
Go to Texas. Because,
Austin?
because it is illegal in Texas to not own at least one pickup truck.
All right. We are in Texas. Let's look at this Lariat, only on the lot for 39 days. There you go. 143 days supply of a $72,000 Ford F-150 Lariat. There's 371 of these for sale within, drum roll please, 100 miles of this dealership. Same year, make, model, and trim, yet only 117 have sold in the last 45 days in that area. And you can see a big markup between MSRP and invoice price, which you get on CarEdge.com. And Dad, 143 days supply is too high when this is what you're expecting to underwrite your business with.
It's double what you would want it to be, and this is in a truck heavy state. I joke when I say it's against the law not to own at least one pickup truck, but I might actually be telling the truth. I don't know. So if in a truck heavy state like Texas, they're sitting on 143 day supply of F-150 Lariat four-wheel drives, that's an issue. Where even Texans are saying, I don't want to spend that kind of money for my pickup truck. And this might, I hate to say this might be a fairly reasonable priced pickup truck in the Texas pickup truck market.
Let's go back a page and let's just look at the first page of results here. 50K, 72K, 66, 48. Wow, that's pretty cheap relative to these other prices. 50. Yeah, I know, right? 48, 48, 48, 40. Yeah, I mean, Dad, these are okay. Here we go. 81,000. $81,000 for a pickup truck, 70,000. So, yeah, actually the price that we were looking at there.
One of the higher priced vehicles.
One of the higher priced vehicles. Let's click into one of the cheaper ones.
Yeah.
How about this one? No, that's a bad story for Ford, dude. That's bad. For those of you that listen to the podcast and don't tune in live here on YouTube, it's 178 days supply of the STX.
Well, is that because it's just a rear wheel drive?
I mean, let's find another one.
Could be. I don't know. I mean, because when you're out in the range, tending to your
here's an STX four-wheel drive, Ted.
Okay.
178 days supply too.
Okay. Well, they're not selling all that well. So what that indicates to me is I have no idea what I'm talking about. And what do I mean by that? Their lower priced vehicles are sitting longer than their higher priced vehicles. So
all their vehicles though are sitting longer than they would want.
Yes, but here I every day I go, there's an affordability crisis in this country. Nobody really seems to be addressing it. We know pickup trucks are a big deal in this country, although pickup truck sales have slowed significantly because people are looking for lesser expensive smaller SUVs, mid-size SUVs.
Yep.
But having said that, I mean, the $50,000 ones are sitting longer than the $72,000 ones. So as much as I complain about the manufacturers not producing enough inexpensive or lower priced vehicles, and I can't believe that I would sit here and say, and a $50,000 F-150 is inexpensive, because it's not. Okay. What we really need to see are like $40,000 and under. But the lower priced, lower content ones are sitting longer than the higher priced, higher content ones. So maybe I have no idea what I'm talking about. Maybe my fingers aren't on the pulse of what I think most Americans are looking for, which is less expensive, more affordable stuff.
Stop it. Let's come to the chat, Dad, and then we're going to go to our favorite segment of the show from Matthew. Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you, Matthew.
Isn't this Durango body getting ready for a Sweet 16? Watch out, Ray, coming for you, except the Durango felt like arthritis from day one. Yeah, the Durango body style hasn't changed.
We rented, when we were in Puerto Rico, we had a Durango.
Yep.
Wasn't necessarily what we had asked for, but it was ultimately what they gave us. Poor gas mileage.
Really bad gas mileage.
Really
massive gas tank, but really bad gas.
Massive gas, but terrible gas mileage. The fit and finish wasn't the greatest in the way. It was a Dodge Durango, for goodness sake, and it's overpriced. It's overpriced for what it is.
Yep. We had earlier in the show down from David Wade. Hopefully some dancing will help you feel better.
I doubt it. All I want to do is nap today, damn it. There you go.
Thank you, David. That was very kind. We've got here from another But for Chair. Hi, all. Hi, Pops. I just bought a used 2015 Honda Pilot in immaculate condition. Going to remind everyone again, we've got a new research project we're working on. Car buying satisfaction and dealer transparency survey. Go to caredge.com/survey. If you've bought a vehicle in the past year, another But for Chair, please contribute your response here so that we can compile the data and share this report. And really excited about that. Congratulations on getting the deal done. We've got from David Langle. Zach, run that Grand Wagoneer on Black Book. Your wish. My command. All right, we're coming back here to caredge.com. We're going to the car search. We're doing a Jeep. I'm in a different zip code now, though, but let's see. Grand, or maybe I'm in the same zip code. Let's see. Wagoneer. Oh, used. There we go. I was about to say, what the heck? New. Yeah, here we go. So I need this VIN. Give me 1 second.
We'll give you all the time it takes because you know I'm not feeling all that good today. I don't have my normal energy today.
You're doing great, Dad.
Yeah, but you're gonna want to film some video.
We gotta fix that CarEdge team. If anyone from the CarEdge team is here, if you don't mind screenshotting that and putting it on Slack, we got to get that logo the right size. The retail value is
The black
85,000.
book things off. It's just covering all the other print.
Yeah, whatever. We have a retail value here of $85,725
Well, there you have it on a vehicle
on a $111,000 vehicle.
So that's $26,000 less. With how many miles did you put on it? 3,000.
3,000.
My guess is you couldn't sell it for 85 as a used car if you tried.
Ooh,
if
baby.
you tried
Matthew.
really hard.
Thank you, Matthew, for the kind contribution. High rate end buyer can go down to 70,000, 50,000 buyer, $50,000 buyer is stuck.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And somebody I don't know who said in the comments, somebody that can actually afford a vehicle might look at that $50,000 one and say, you know what, I'd rather spend the extra 20 grand and get the nicer one. That could be. And the people that can afford the people who thought they could afford a cheap pickup truck find out even at 50,000 they can't afford it.
Seriously. Dad, let's do our favorite segment of the show.
Really? You have got to be kidding me.
This one's a sad one. Stellantis lays off another 1,100 folks at a Michigan plant, and they're closing down their Arizona proving grounds. So this is actually some moderately good news. The expectation was almost 2,500 workers.
Yes.
We're going to get laid off, but only 1,100 have been laid off. But we've got more layoffs happening at Stellantis, who is obviously struggling to make money. Not a really good, you've got to be kidding me, unfortunately.
No, the part about that article that I found more interesting was actually the proving grounds. It is. I remember when I had my Golf USA franchise in Mesa, Arizona, and the store was about 3 miles from, at that time, GM's proving ground in Mesa, Arizona. And I had a lot of customers at my golf store that were engineers that worked at the proving grounds. And so I was brought in as a visitor, a guest one day. And we drove, the proving grounds were huge. And, obviously you could do a lot of heat testing and desert testing. And they had all different types of roads set up. And we had a banked oval that we took a Cadillac Alante convertible out on, which was really fun.
Sounds fun.
But I remember saying to the engineer, I said, how come they don't put this stuff in their TV ads? Why don't they show people how they actually test their vehicles so that, I don't know, you could convince people that, well, you're really trying real hard. And the proving grounds are really interesting. They, I think, eventually closed that down and moved it to Mexico. Obviously, Stellantis is closing the one that they have, or selling the one that they have in Arizona, and making arrangements to utilize one of Toyota's proving grounds that they have out there. But my point is that proving grounds, for anybody that would ever have the opportunity to visit, it is just one of the most incredible things you could ever experience.
So why do you think they're closing it down, Dad? Save money?
Yeah, of course. How much money does it make them? Probably not anything at all. So it's only their program, I think, was staffed by 67 or 69 people. But you keep those engineers and everybody on, it costs you money. You're not, they can look at it and they go, well, the real estate has costs, there's property taxes, there's this, there's that. It's not making us money. Yeah. We can rent what we need from Toyota. But truly, it is, if anybody ever has an opportunity to visit an automobile manufacturer's proving grounds, whether it be one of the ones in the desert Southwest, or there are certain ones in the upper Midwest that for winter,
Yeah.
it is really a fascinating experience to see and be able to participate in some of the ways that they test these vehicles, the potholed roads, the dusty roads, the just
Yeah.
just the vehicles that they would just sit out and let them burn in the sun, just
Yep.
because they wanted to make sure the paint would. It was really fascinating.
I didn't think we were going to get 4 minutes on proving grounds, but I know you've got a passion for that, and I'll keep that in mind when your next birthday rolls around. But there you go, Stellantis laying off more folks, close down a proving ground. Go for it.
The best, I'm telling you, the best part was in that Cadillac Alante convertible going, I don't know, we were doing about 120, 130 on the banked oval. And it was pretty fascinating. I enjoyed that. Yeah.
Let's come to the chat here, Pops. I know you're not feeling great, so I don't want to keep you on. Extra from Rich. Thank you, Rich. Very kind. Ray, my fellow 73-year-old, are you as shocked as I am about $100,000 pickups? What planet are we on now?
Oh, I'm shocked by that. I mean, I always understood to a certain degree inflation, that nothing was going to remain cheap forever. But when I first started in the industry in 1977, and I believe the B210 Honeybee at the the Datsun dealership, it was then.
Yep.
I think it was around $1,800. Okay. So if you said to me, if you stay in the business for 50 years, Ray, do you expect to be selling $100,000 cars? My answer to you would have been no. Okay. I would not ever have expected to be selling vehicles of that type of pricing. And I don't know where people get the money to buy this stuff.
You know exactly where it comes from, Dad. It comes from 84 and 96 month loan terms. That's where it comes from. People don't have $100,000 sitting around to buy a pickup truck. They have good enough credit to get approved for. Anyway, that's a different.
And some of those folks are doing the Grand Wagoneer for 36 months at 0% financing with a payment of $3,200 a month.
We've got from Manny here. Manny, thank you so much. Are manufacturers writing their own loans more often? Example, Chrysler Capital. Doesn't that present its own issue, dangers for these manufacturers? Or banks writing loans? This is happening a lot right now with the leases, actually. The residual values on leases that come from the captive leasing companies are being artificially inflated to bring the monthly lease payment down. That's why we're seeing such a big increase in leasing. But yeah, these captive finance arms are just hedge funds. They're just putting risk on the books, putting bets on the books. But we have seen some automakers like Volkswagen actually got out of the captive financing business, and now they're relying on Wells Fargo. So it's a mix. It's a mix of captive financing and then, public banks that these companies work with.
Yeah, and especially when it comes to leasing, it's the captive finance. And BMW, for example, one of the great things about BMW is they have always had great leases. Well, they've always had great leases because the manufacturer artificially inflates the residual value, and the dealer, as part of the dealer agreement, is they have to buy the vehicles at the end of the lease when a customer returns them. You're only allowed to turn down X number of lease returns. So even though the residuals might be too high, BMW already has the buyer for the vehicle when the customer turns it in.
We've got here from Matthew. Thank you, Matthew. Go to BMW Sweden winter test center every February. That sounds pretty
cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Folks, again, if we can help you out with anything, CarEdge.com. A few things I'm going to point out today. We have the $250 off promotion running for the next 13 days or so on new vehicle extended warranty, mechanical vehicle service contract. You just go to CarEdge.com/warranty or come here, click there. We also have CarEdge Insights, 20% off for the same period of time between now and I guess the next 13 days. So take advantage of that. CarEdge Insights gets you access to all the tools our team uses to negotiate the best deals for our community. And then under insurance here, this is relatively new. Shop and save on auto insurance. If you're in the market to save money, which I think is everyone in our community, it behooves you to shop your insurance every once in a while, at least once a year. So if you haven't done that yet, go to caredge.com and then go to insurance, shop and save on auto insurance. Let us do our best to help you out. Pops.
Yes.
Let's get you off the air. Let's get you recuperating a little bit. We'll film a video and you'll take a nap. Sound good?
Oh, I can't wait. Sounds good to me. And maybe my heater guy will call me sometime today. We'll find out.
Fingers crossed. We'll be back tomorrow unless Pops isn't feeling good. Otherwise, we'll see you at 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. Eastern. I love you, Dad. Talk to you soon.
I love you too. Yeah, I'll see you. What time we filming? 1:30? Yeah, buddy.